Well, guys, we are finally here, and we are going to be finally doing the review of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, again, I'm just going to go ahead and say this: there is a lot of I don't know if I want to say speculation or different, I would say, ways of people that are wanting to say all kinds of things about this movie. Whether it be it's the best thing ever or it's the worst thing ever. Again, there are multiple things about this movie I like, and there's things about it I'm not a big fan of. Now, I will say this again, they did do a good tribute to Chadwick Boseman with his character T'Challa, of him becoming the Black Panther, leaving to become the Black Panther. This was a memory towards him to continue the franchise of Black Panther. And the question is, did they succeed? Now, again, the entirety of this film is where it's focused on Shuri, supposed to become the new Black Panther, but again, with her not wanting to accept her brother's death, as well as burying herself in her work, and then finding out there's a new threat by Namor. He is the king of this underwater tribe slash kingdom who is wanting to go to war with not only America but other countries due to them being surface dwellers. So it's almost like an Aquaman thing in a way, where he was born several years ago. His mother and his people, while he was pregnant with her, they went under some type of a flower that was found in the water, and they drank it and then became blue, and then they lived underwater for however many years. And when he decided to bury her, he saw how bad the surface world could be, so then he just wanted to go ahead and declare war on them. And then with them also having the same kind of technology that Wakanda has, then that makes them vulnerable as well with vibranium. So again, it's kind of interesting on where exactly, because the entirety of this film, it's like, okay, well, who's doing this? What's going on, and how are they able to have this? Because the ones above in the government, they're thinking that, again, this is Wakanda doing all these things, that they're attacking, that they're weak because the Black Panther is no longer with them. So again, there's not a whole lot to go on in this film of action. It don't really, in my opinion, don't get really good until at the very end of the film, where Shuri actually takes the role of becoming the Black Panther, because again, she kind of forces herself in her work. Like, it kind of reminded me of Tony a little bit, like what happened when Tony would always get upset or whatever. He just buried himself in his work, which was a good thing, because Shuri came up with a lot of great ideas to not only help Wakanda, but also be able to help her friends and her family. And again, there was some good scenes, I will say, where we get introduced to Ironheart, which again, she's going to be supposedly the new Iron Man, Iron Girl. And then of course with Shuri losing her mother at the very end, because again, when she gets kidnapped by Namor's people. And then we have where the Queen asks, of course, Namor, like, hey, go get my daughter. And she's unable to do so. When she finally does, we see where she gets her, and then it causes a war. And then of course Namor attacks Wakanda, kills her mom, and then there's a big ass war. And then what's really weird is also we do see Michael B. Jordan come back, because somehow or other Shuri is able to remake the flower that is able to, for someone that is becoming the Black Panther, to go see the ancestors and then be granted that power to become the Black Panther. And she sees him there, and she blames him for not only her brother's death but her mother and everything he did, because otherwise, if it wasn't for him, then maybe that flower would still be around, and maybe it would have helped T'Challa at the very end. Because again, it doesn't say what his cause of death was. It was more of a, because you, my brother's dead. And again, they don't really go into detail of how he died. All we know is that he died from some kind of an illness. And again, it could be that they're maybe trying to put what Chadwick Boseman possibly actually died of, or he actually, something else. Again, that wasn't a bad idea, having him die off screen. I think that the way they did the funeral was very beautiful. I think that the emotion behind the actress of Shuri was also very on point. But at the same time, I do feel like they kind of pushed a lot on, to try to continue this without Chadwick Boseman. And again, I think that hurt the film because, again, I don't think it's ever going to be the same without Chadwick Boseman because he really did the defining of not only this character but this franchise for Black Panther. He really became the face of Black Panther, and I don't think you're ever gonna recapture that magic. And what was really cool though is Shuri becoming the new Black Panther. I think that she was able to do so, but again, it just took a while to finally, grant that power of, okay, I gotta do this to not only protect my people, I gotta do this for my family, and I gotta avenge the person that killed my mother. So I think that what really happened is that she became so overtaken not only by grief that later on she slowly becomes T'Challa because she becomes friends with Ironheart. But what's really cool is that she at the very end kind of shows mercy to Namor because he was wanting to just kill everybody. He didn't care. And again, I will say this, Namor, some people think he's a cool character. I think he's just a ripoff of Aquaman, honestly. I don't think he was that cool of a character. I think he was rather annoying. I don't think they had a very good villain in mind for this film. I think that a lot of people were so excited to see this film that is what hyped it up. And again, them, pushing, because again, this is without Chadwick Boseman, that they were trying to really push this film. And I do see where they were going with this, but I don't think this film was probably as good as the first film. I'm sorry to say that. I think that the first film was better, and I feel like that they kind of try to hurry up to wrap this up in a way, because at the very end, I will say it's kind of interesting. They kind of left you hanging, because Shuri decides she does not want to become doesn't want to lead Wakanda. She decides to go on her own. She gives pretty much to Wakabi to become the new, I would say, king of Wakanda, while she goes and does her thing, and everyone else does, the same thing with Okoye. She becomes, another warrior as well. Like, her and Shuri may go do whatever on missions together to try to help others, I would say, around the world. Now, what was really weird is, again, there was two females in here with T'Challa, and then, of course, with the Queen. And what was kind of interesting is that, again, there was really no one in the Avengers there. You would think that, with the Black Panther being an Avenger, that someone would be there in respect, but they weren't. So that was kind of interesting. I was hoping that they would put that in there. Also, at the very end, you see that Shuri finds out that she has a nephew that she never knew about, because he was pretty much in hiding the entire time from the throne, from the world of Wakanda, because the one that T'Challa was involved with, she gave birth before the snap. And we see how she gives, like, hey, can you keep a secret? And now all of a sudden, hey, you got a long lost nephew, and he has the same name as T'Challa. So again, they're wanting to keep T'Challa, the name, the character, continuing in a way, and until I guess he's grown enough to take the throne and also become the new Black Panther. Which again, I do kind of see where they're going. But it's going to be kind of interesting on how they're going to do this. If they're going to kind of do like a Spider-Man thing, if get him to a certain age, and then maybe have him train with different ones to become the new Black Panther. Which again is going to be very interesting, because at some point I can see them doing that, but I don't want them to do that, because I'm kind of hoping that they take their time with this, and they also think this very carefully, because some people may like this, some people may not like this. Again, there was a lot of controversy behind this film. I really don't want to get into that. I wanted to go see this film because I am a fan of the Black Panther. I think the main thing I enjoyed was the fight at the very end, because I feel like that was probably the best part in the movie, because I feel like, again, they made Namor so OP that it almost made me feel like he was a Mary Sue in a way. And I'm going to say that straight up. It just felt like he was a Mary Sue. And again, some of you are probably going to go, well, why do you say he was a Mary Sue? It's just, you think about him, of course, being this, I guess, the first, I would say, superhuman, almost like a mutant, right? But at the same time, he's powerful, but he's not that powerful. Again, you would think, Shuri wouldn't have that many issues with him, because again of how she was trained. But again, if someone like, I would say, T'Challa went up against him, then I think it would have ended a lot quicker. But again, with everything that Shuri went through, you kind of understand the reason why it took her a little bit. So again, there's just a lot to dissect in this film. But overall, I enjoyed it to a certain degree. Will I watch it again? Yes. Will I be in a hurry to watch it? No. Was it my favorite film? No. Was it an okay film? Yes. Was it the worst film? No. I think Phase 4 was very weak, and I'm really looking forward to Phase 5 in Marvel. And again, I'm not the biggest Ant-Man fan. I am going to watch it. I'm hoping that we get a better phase this round rather than Phase 4. So overall, guys, let me know what your thoughts were about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. If you guys enjoyed it, okay, great. If not, that's fine too. I mean, again, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to defend this film and say it was the best film ever. That's perfectly fine. There's other ones that's going to say, oh, it was the worst movie ever. That's fine too. Again, you're entitled to your opinion. But at the same time, again, we're all Marvel fans at the end of the day. And just, guys, let me know what you guys think, and let's just go from there. All right? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.